This is the Surly Grognards for January 18th, 2016. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent, most excellent. Think I'm mostly over my cold, finally.
Yay, victory over Nurgle.
Yes, screw you, Nurgle. You and your happiness. Stupid happy chaos god.
Look, I found this new thing for you. I'm calling it a plague. I want you to have it. Share it with all your friends.
Oh, stop that. Uh, we don't have a particular topic this week. We do have a viewer question, which we'll get to later. It may take some time, but it's not really enough to spin into an entire episode, I don't think.
Hmm.
Um, but we don't have a particular topic. We're going to be sort of, talking about gaming in general. Let's see what's going on. So, what's been going on gaming-wise for you, Eric?
Not a lot. I started playing ESO again. Uh,
Aha.
Largely because I wanted to play something with orcs, and I don't want to pay for WoW, and Neverwinter is ungood.
Right, right, right.
It's the
Yeah,
same. I really enjoyed that game for about a month, and now I can't even just play 15 minutes of it.
yeah. Neverwinter never really grabbed me. Um, I've been playing a lot of Star Trek Online, but
Right.
I like spaceships.
Spaceships are good. Yeah, I got kind of burned out in that, but I'm starting to slowly wheedle my way back in.
Let's see what else has been going on. I mean, I've been doing some stuff on and off, off stream too. But
Right.
I've got a bunch. I've got to finish up Fallout 4 at some point. I've been sort of slowly playing my way through it. I want to like Fallout 4 more than I do. Is what I think I'm coming to the conclusion about it.
I I can understand that.
Like I absolutely adored. I was so just like, oh, this is fantastic when it started off, and it's having some of the little sort of niggling things that I have minor problems with in Skyrim. It's sort of the my biggest problem with Fallout 4 right now, honestly, is
Hmm.
it's the same problem I have with Skyrim. Is I like there's a main quest that I just don't feel any real connection to. Despite that you should.
Yeah, I got you there. But that's sort of been the thing with that company's games.
Bethesda, yes.
Where it's like, here was the main quest. It's relatively epic, but you don't really have to do it. You can sort of wander around, do whatever the fuck you want. We don't care.
And I'm fine with that, and that can work really well.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
one thing I like about Skyrim. It's like I kind of did the main quest because I felt like I should, and then I'm like, I guess I'll just wander around not Norway as a
yeah,
orc. This is awesome.
yeah. I'm thinking my plan for Fallout 4, I think going forward right now, and part of the problem is that I feel more sort of a little bit more connected to wanting to keep very settlements I've been helping out going,
Right.
but it also feels kind of like a chore to have to do it.
Yeah, I've heard that criticism a lot. Like the constant, there's a settlement that needs your help. Fuck you.
It's like, oh God, Preston, shut up. It doesn't help that it's like I get constant ones from the same goddamn one. It's like, would you peep? What? How? Also, because they're using the whole Radiant Quest thing that they did in Skyrim, so it randomizes stuff, which is cool conceptually.
Right.
The problem is, like, this set, like, the sanctuary is being threatened by raiders nearby. Okay, where are these raiders? All the way fucking across Boston. How are these raiders threatening sanctuary? Tell me. I want to know. Honestly. Like, literally, I had one where it's literally on the, like, sanctuary's in the upper northwest of the map. I had to go all the way to the coast.
That yeah,
It's like,
that's
what?
well, clearly the issue is that they've got duck boats. They've got duck boats.
If they had duck boats, that'd be awesome. They don't. The other thing I've found, I also had one where it basically said, these raiders up at the former satellite the satellite station are giving us problems, which is fine. That's sort of near. The problem is that it was like the third time I've had something happen in that place. And normally when a quest spawns, like requires a location, it spawns the boss that you need, the
Right.
quote boss, the flag mob you need to take out for these radiant quests. And I'm like, okay, fine. It didn't spawn the flag mob, so I couldn't complete the quest.
Ah,
Complete.
that's irritating.
So I just had to wait for it to time out because those quests time out eventually. I'm like,
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. This
it's
is not
annoying.
taking space in your quest log.
Yeah, but yeah, it was so bizarre because I went there and there were raiders there, but the one that I needed to kill to complete the quest wasn't. And it's like, what? Whatever, fine, sure, done. I'm just going to ignore it. It'll eventually fail, and yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, Fallout 4 has a lot of these little niggling things that make it not quite as good as it could be. Is the problem?
I hear you. I gotcha.
Which is
Ah.
unfortunate because it at its core there's something really good there.
Yeah, every once in a while, like I try to start Witcher 2 again,
Uh,
and there's a lot of stuff in there that I like about it. Combat is not one of them.
yeah, I've heard that. I've not played any of
I
the Witcher's
really,
games.
really can't stand the combat, and I like the what little of the world I've seen is beautifully realized. It's very much like Renaissance Northern Europe, and the style of like the armor and what everyone's wearing and shit. The monsters are all really interesting. It's just I can't. Something about the combat just really sort of feels
Uh,
bad.
yeah,
Not off. Off I can deal with. Just bad.
ah, I know people love the combat systems in the Witcher games, though they change them every game in some
Yeah, which
way.
makes me think maybe Witcher 3, but
I've heard really good things about Witcher 3, to be totally
yeah,
honest.
Witcher 3 seems to be on top of everyone's friggin' best of list for the year.
Or for a lot of people, at least.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking I might check out Dragon's Dogma now that it's on PC. Maybe. I've heard good things about
I,
that one too.
I've heard good things about that, but at the same time, like I'm sort of so very done with the whole JRPG thing.
Yeah, but it's not a JRPG, is the thing.
Yeah.
Really. I don't know. It's weird. It's something I might check out at some point. I don't know yet. I've got a lot of stuff I've got to play through that on my right now that I've just been letting languish because I've been
Yeah. Yeah.
focusing so heavily on Star Trek for some reason. Oh, I know why, because I love Star Trek.
Yeah, it's got fucking giant robots,
No, it
including a
doesn't.
giant Lego ship.
It doesn't have very giant robots. It does technically, sort of.
That's I meant spaceships.
Well, it sort of does with the Voth mech suits.
Yeah, which I really wish I could pilot.
I know, of course you do, but that will never happen.
I know. Everything's with giant robots.
But yeah, um, what else? Let's see, what else has been going on recently, gaming wise? Boy, I mean, just one thing of note that a bit of news that happened. I think last week actually. I didn't talk about it on the show, but
Okay.
apparently, WotC has decided to bring back the open gaming license thing for Fifth Edition.
Oh, cool. That's cool. I have not played fifth edition at all and don't own any of the books, so I don't know if that's good or not, but I always like the open gaming system thing.
It's an interesting
Um,
idea. I really, really wish they'd done that with Fourth
for with
Ed.
fourth ed, yeah.
From what I've looked at Fifth Ed, I'm not sure how well that will work to do, like, to take full advantage of the way systems, like, people did some interesting stuff with Third Ed in the Open OGL. It was what
Right.
led to Mutants and Masterminds, the Star Wars D20 game, Farscape D20 game.
Yeah, I wish the Farscape D20 game was better
Yeah,
cuz I love Farscape. That was not a great system.
No, it wasn't. From what I looked at it, I mean, it was D20, so it's sort of it was there. It wasn't a particularly inspired use of D20.
Yeah,
Um,
that's very true.
and the Star Wars one, I have sort of similar problems with it. It just
The Star Wars one was better than the
the
whatchamacallit.
Farscape one, yeah.
Yeah.
And from I didn't play the Farscape one. I sort of thumbed through the book a bit and heard you guys talking about it. I've played the Star Wars one a fair bit with you guys, and
Yeah, had issues. Mostly because D20 doesn't really mesh well with the whole Star Wars aesthetic.
yeah, it definitely had that problem. It sort of reinforced it. The biggest problem I had with that game was how much it really felt like you really should be wearing armor mechanically, and that makes no goddamn sense in Star Wars.
Dude, I had a Wookiee wearing powered armor. Now, granted, that's not their power armor available, though. So being a Wookiee is not going to stop me from wearing it.
Right.
But that was very wrong thing to do with a Wookiee.
It's just wrong. I mean, people. I mean, there is some people who do wear armor, but you know.
Yeah, that's like bounty hunters, and it's less that they're wearing armor and more that there's like gadgets attached to the armor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, NetDiver just showed up and asked. Sorry if I already mentioned this. Since we're doing a you know a bit of a more freeform show. This is I love when the chat asks questions for this.
Yes.
Thoughts on Ravenloft for Fifth Edition? Cool. I haven't
Yeah.
played Fifth Ed, so you know.
Yeah, I wish I'm open to it if someone I know wants to run a game. No one does. Partially because we're all old men at this point and old women, and we have all these other games we never got around to playing.
Yeah. I think I'm glad to see Ravenloft is back. Ravenloft is
Yes, I'm
a
happy to see Ravenloft is back. I'm the only person on Earth that liked Dark Sun, but it was because it was Mad Max and D&D.
no. You're not the only person who liked Dark Sun. You're the one who liked Dark Sun for. You're one of the few people who liked Dark Sun for Dark Sun and not for the mechanical munchery that the original Dark Sun had.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I looked at Dark Sun and went, I get to be a bug monster, and it's a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and there's like all this weird stuff around. This sounds like a lot of fun. Dude, I'm totally playing a half giant, half dwarf for all these bonuses. Okay, I'm a Mantis Ranger with a lightning stick because that sounds cool.
Dark Sun is.
It does shit like that, and sometimes I stumble across a really broken combination for it.
Yeah, you do. You have a knack for that sometimes. You find you. I notice you've managed to find broken in both directions.
Yes, yes, I do.
This sounds awesome! Wow, it does nothing!
It's really terrible. This sounds awesome. Oh, this is much better than I thought it was.
Oh dear, I seem to be killing everything, or I can't be stopped in certain areas. Oh dear.
I seem to have skewed the party dynamic. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah,
It's like the old Shadowrun games. Like I'm going to play a troll street shaman, and I'm gonna use dog for my totem. Wow, a lot of these detection spells are really good once you have the bonuses from dog on there.
But yeah, Ravenloft has always been one of those. I love Ravenloft conceptually.
Yeah,
And I'm not a big fan of Ravenloft as a campaign setting, but it's a wonderful thing to have as a thing you can inject into a normal D&D game as a change of pace. Because it has sort of it for like a mini arc, you know.
yeah,
I think we've talked about this before, but like I love Ravenloft from the standpoint of you know the party has finished up a quest of some sort and they're in between things, and like you know they get sucked into Ravenloft and now they you know for this arc they've got to find a way home, and that's you know or do something important in Ravenloft, and then they can get back to the normal adventuring. Um, Ravenloft as a campaign, it's sort of like I feel about it sort of the way I feel about Call of Cthulhu as a long-running campaign. I'm not sure how well it works.
I don't know about that because Call of Cthulhu as a long-running game is going to end up with everyone dead or insane because that's the way Call of Cthulhu works. I can see a long-running campaign in Ravenloft, though.
I don't know. It's sort of they both have that sort of they both are worlds where the you can't win. You're just doomed, and I don't see how a long running game can. I don't see how a long running campaign in Ravenloft can actually work. I mean, just because the deck is so stacked against you.
I don't know. It's a campaign, a long-running campaign in Ravenloft becomes about little victories of
Sure.
life, honestly.
Yeah, I guess it's just
And like and they can sort of build up and snowball. And yeah, this deck is stacked against you, but that means I don't know. There's something about like those little victories when everything's up against you is just that much sweeter and more awesome, better than the big giant epic one, almost. But that's
but that's not what I'm
um,
talking about.
yeah,
It's not so much that as it's. I don't know how the game from a mechanical standpoint how you can actually run a Ravenloft game and have it last a long time. Just because of the way unless you deviate from the way the world's set up. Because
well, it
everything
is
Ravenloft
your
is
system. You can do that.
sure, but I'm talking about from the way the gate world's designed. It's set up. It's designed for exactly what I described, which is the point is trying to get out.
Right.
Because it's if you're stuck there, you're screwed. And I just don't see how it may just be sort of my own limitations as a game master. I don't know how I could run a Ravenloft game for a long period of time and not have it become incredibly repetitive
Right.
at best. I don't know. I
No, I got you. I understand, and we've had this discussion before.
well, sure. But I think Ravenloft is a wonderful thing, and mind you, it's entirely likely I'm completely wrong about this.
Right.
I freely admit this. I'm not the world's best game master by any stretch of the imagination. Um, and I don't know. Yeah, but mind you, I don't know how I'd run a long running campaign in Dark Sun either. But I don't know the Dark Sun world as well as I sort of get the way Ravenloft is set up. So
But Dark Sun has Thrycreen.
that's has nothing to do with my comment, Eric.
Bug monster.
Yes, and Thrycreen are neat. Thrycreen does not a campaign make, Eric.
You're not trying hard enough.
Oh my God. So, um, what else? Let's see. But yeah, I'm glad to see for people who are playing Fifth Edition, having Ravenloft there is a great thing. I
Yeah.
hope that they release more of the interesting D&D worlds they've done for Fifth Ed, just because it's the more material that game masters and players have to work with, the better, in my opinion.
You know what's a setting that I thought was really fucking stupid when it was available, and now I'm kind of like that. Sounds like it could be a lot of fun.
What?
Spelljammer.
Oh yeah, Spelljammer conceptually is bizarre, warped, and kind of silly, but that actually kind of makes it awesome.
Yes. No, that's exactly like what I was thinking. Like thinking about these is like, you know what? I could play some Spelljammer. Spelljammer is fucking stupid. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've played in campaigns that had some sort Spelljammer elements thrown in them as a player, and it was kind of
Right.
neat. Um, it's got this
The
wonderful
idea of
loopy.
having this giant magic boat that your party flies around into different worlds, and sometimes you end up on Darksun, sometimes you end up in Ravenloft. Most of the time, you end up in generic D and D world 34B.
God, you better hope you don't end up in Dark Sun. You're screwed if you do,
Yeah.
because you're not getting back out. Because the whole point behind Dark Sun is it's locked off from everything else.
Yeah.
Um,
From everything else, and magic works different.
and in ways that the most of the deities don't, basically all the deities don't want getting out.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Arcane magic. You know how that shit works? You know how it works? You know how it works? How does it work? By pulling the life force from everything else around you and making it into a spell. That sounds awesome and really evil.
Also, it sounds like something that could possibly destroy the universe. No!
And that's why Darksun is a blasted wasteland.
Yeah. And why the deities have locked it off from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can leave there. Nope. If you get in, that's fine, but you can't leave. No, 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 no. If you leave, there's a chance you'll figure out defiler magic and you'll bring it somewhere else, and that'd be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, Spelljammer is kind of wacky and fun. I hope they bring it back again at some point.
Space boats.
Yeah, space boats with ballistas shooting each other in space.
Yeah. Just a certain degree of just utter weirdness about it, and like beholders being like a spacefaring nation.
Yeah, bizarre.
And spider eels, sapient spider eels.
The Nigoi.
Yeah.
Crap, I forget the
Whatever.
But yeah, they're yeah. And don't forget the GIF, the space hippos.
Oh right, forgot about those guys.
Who use firearms.
Yeah.
Oh god, Spelljammer's wacky and weird. I love it.
Yeah, when Spelljammer was like a big deal in second ed D&D, I was still in like middle school, early high school, and I was like, this is dumb, for it is silly and weird. And silly and weird things aren't cool, and I have no idea how to be cool, but I know it's not silly and weird.
I wasn't a huge fan of it in high school either. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it in high school either, to be totally honest. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I admit I'm kind of interested. I at some point feel like I should check out Forgotten Realms 5th edition, look through the book, just so I can find out how they've changed the way the magic works again.
Yeah, because they seem to do that with every edition.
And also how they blown up the Forgotten Realms this time, because every edition they basically blow the world up and restart. I mean, it's fucking.
Poor Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, I forget, the realms are one of those fantasy worlds I want to like more than I do, because in a lot of ways it's like, yeah, it was a world that they actually thought about and put together and thought about some logical ramifications of some stuff in magic and such.
Yeah,
and and they did a bunch of really interesting stuff, but despite the fact that they keep changing things, it feels really stale at this point, which is really weird because they shake things up every edition and it somehow feels kind of the same. I don't know, but I'll take it over Dragonlance personally.
Yeah, something about Dragonlance just seems weirdly generic.
Well, it is. I mean, it's not as generic as Greyhawk, but that's because Greyhawk is sort of like,
Greyhawk is intended to be like default D&D, and I can accept that, and I kind of like it for that.
Yeah.
Something very unpretentious about Greyhawk.
Yep. Also, if you ever look at the maps, they make no goddamn sense. It's like, why is this nation next to, like, if you got these lawful, nation ruled by a lawful evil nation next to this lawful good nation, and they're not at war because and have no relations with each other, and you're like, really? Like,
no, they could easily not have relations. They just sort of have the very sort of
So you're telling me a nation run by necromancers next to a nation which has an order of paladins dedicated to fighting the undead will never have any interaction, despite being next door neighbors. This is not an actual.
Clearly not trading.
Well, no.
that is like they clearly have trade embargoes against one another, and both know that a war is a really bad idea between the two. So they just quietly ignore the other, kind of like how a lot of nations behave now.
Yeah, except that's not how. No. Also, Greyhawk has the barrier peaks with this crash spaceship.
Right. Oh, right. Forgot about that.
Greyhawk's wacky and stupid. I have no problems. Don't get me wrong. I have no problems with Greyhawk. It's silly. It doesn't make any sense. But as Eric said, it's default generic D&D. Okay. The
It's default generic D&D, and it's profoundly unpretentious, and I really like that.
Absolutely. The fact that you got all these weird.
Dragonlance is stupendously pretentious.
Oh lordy, yes. Despite being the home of both the Tinker Gnomes and the Kender.
Yeah. Tinker Gnomes I kind of like just because they're so absurd. But Kender, yeah, are just wildly irritating creatures.
But the thing is, like, how can you be pretentious and claim that you're going to take these two races seriously?
Warhammer 40,000.
Warhammer 40,000 is not pretentious.
No, but it is grim, darkety, dark, dark, grim, dark. It still somehow has things like the hop splat field gun.
Yeah, and that's one of my many problems with 40k, to be totally honest.
It's actually one of the things I really like about 40k.
uh, I can get that, but but think about the other D&D worlds. I mean, like, what are the other important ones out there? I mean, we've covered all the big ones that I'm thinking of.
There's Eberron.
Well, that's not one of the. I mean, that's one of the newest ones, and I like Eberron. I think Eberron's awesome.
Yeah, Eberron's one of those worlds that D&D worlds that has grown on me the longer it's been out.
Right.
Like playing a big magic robot sounds more and more interesting to me.
The Warforged are fucking awesome.
Yes, yes, they are.
I love them.
They're amazed I've never played one.
They're one of my favorite races in fourth edition. They're really and I knew a little bit about Eberron in third edition, but I really didn't really do any sort of looking deep into it until fourth ed, and I fell completely in love with a lot about Eberron, and the Warforged are probably my favorite thing out of it. It's just and I conceptually love these sort of cool sort of magic tech punk feel to it,
Yeah.
And like
things I really like about Iron Kingdoms, which I feel like does it better, but they're also much more tech than magic in a lot of ways.
Well, that's the thing. The big difference is Iron Kingdoms is sort of is closer to steampunk than Eberron is. Eberron doesn't have that. It's less the punky feel and more. It's about magic. It's magic technology and not like technology that has
technological magic, right?
Right. I mean, Eberron has magic powered airships. I mean, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is fucking awesome. Kind of wish Iron Kingdoms had airships.
They don't.
Because then we could be sky pirates.
You could be sky pirates in Eberron, in theory.
Yes.
Oh man, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any other important of the classic sort of important D&D worlds. I think we cover. Oh, Oerth, right?
What world?
Oerth, the original D&D world.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I don't have a lot of experience or knowledge about that other than it was the original D&D world.
That's sort of my knowledge on it too, to be totally honest. Mystara, I think technically. Is it Mystara? Hang on.
Mystara sounds more right. Yeah.
Yep, Mystara is the basic D&D setting. Yep, that's what it was. Oerth is something else. I forget what it is. Oh my god. Oh, Mystara. Oh, home to keep on the Borderlands and the Isle of Dread. I actually got to play through the Isle of Dread. Not all that long ago. I think I mentioned it on stream. During the my friend Peter Shaw ran a second edition AD&D campaign using basic D&D modules that he uptech to second ed, and one of the ones we did was the Isle of Dread. Oh lordy!
Awesome.
We fought dinosaurs, and it was interesting. It was actually a lot of fun. Though I think our characters were very glad to get out of there and to stop being damp.
Yeah.
because oh god, it rains constantly. It's a jungle island.
I am moist. I'm perpetually moist.
Yep. Oh my god. My poor dwarven cleric in his heavy armor and uh technically fighter cleric, but yeah. Uh but yeah, I hope they publish more of the I hope they bring out source books for all the classic D&D worlds for 5th edition, even if I never play them.
Mm.
Just because if you're gonna have D&D, you got to have some of these. I think.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna have D&D, it's like D&D without like as much as I'm not no longer a fan of the realms, it should be there.
Yeah, and I keep wishing they'll kill Dritstowerden. Here's the thing: I kind of liked Dritstowerden back in the day.
Well, when he
But
first was first established, he was a fine character. He was new and different.
Yeah, and now everyone's fucking Dritstowerden.
Well, I see. I part of me sort of feels like I think the thing that I'm glad Drist exists and existed, and just people sort of became sort of attached to the Drow and started playing those player characters and sort of getting that whole.
Yeah.
I think the thing that ended up happening because of that is that you can actually present the Drow as more nuanced, so they're not just you know traditional classic D&D cardstock bad guys. Like you can actually have some layers to them and give like elements of their society which are not completely just like mustache twirling evil.
Yes.
Except wearing wearing thongs and bikinis because
Because
the evil women are in charge.
that's how you know that they're evil, though.
Well, yeah, of course.
Or barbarians.
Well, yes.
To
Well,
be fair, the barbarian thing is everyone's wearing friggin' chainmail garters and shit. So.
well, no, the Drow don't wear chainmail bikinis. Don't be daft. They're just
That's
wearing as
right.
little
They wear
clothing
like
as possible.
silk and chitin because
Right.
you.
Because evil and spiders.
And spiders. Everything is spiders.
Yes. Well, that's because
Spiders forever.
well, that's because their deity is a spider goddess, effectively. And spiders are evil, apparently.
Well, spiders do have that sort of kind of yeah.
They're fucking spiders are generally considered kind of creepy because they're so alien, and I get that.
And I get that. I personally find them really cute and kind of awesome. But
Well, it depends on the spider. Some spiders are cuter than others.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's like but that sort of progression with the Drow that I'm talking about is what led me to be able to even consider doing the Shadowland world
Mm.
that I did because the world is predicated on the assumption the Drow won and have conquered the surface or most of it, and it enabled me to have sort of add some gray to the black that is the Drow,
Right.
So there's a spectrum. So you have able to introduce Drow characters who aren't just evil, and so it made the world. I think it made the world actually an interesting game world to play in. I hope.
Oh, for when I played it, I enjoyed it.
Right, but my one of my favorite NPCs I've ever run, Lady Pridwin, she's one of my favorite, you know, important sort of ruler NPCs I've run in any fantasy game because I admit she is from her sort of personality standpoint and the way she operates, she is somewhat influenced by Lord Vetinari from Discworld.
No, not at all.
Talk about a Shades of Grey character.
Yeah, no shit.
But she's not really evil. She's ruthless. But she and part of the reason, she's looked at the situation and said, she gets to operate the way she wants to be. She's far away from the actual Drow courts, and so she gets to do things her way, which
Yeah, and
is
that's something all the Drow kind of want,
right.
but they're also, at least from what I've understood, reading R.A. Salvador's books and other source materials, all the Drow want to be free from all the rules, but they're too addicted to all the rules lawyering and getting away with breaking the rules to actually just fuck off and make their own kingdom with blackjack and hookers.
Well, they also seem to have sort of chronic backstabbing disorder to a large degree too.
Yeah, yeah. They're the Drow are Skaven, honestly,
Uh,
except without the super weapons.
yeah, it's sort of. There's some elements of that. The Skaven share some elements with the Drow to a certain degree.
Yeah,
The Drow are better organized,
certainly.
but the Skaven aren't the most well organized of people out there, shall we say?
One of the things I miss about Warhammer Fantasy
Yeah.
was you had the this is in the previous edition. You had the an ally system set up, which determined like what benefits each army could share, and you had like what were basically allies to convenience. Like we are only working together for this one thing. They can't share anything other than being on the same side of the table. And it went all the way up to we are the bestest friends. We get to share everything. Dark Elves and Skaven never got past untrusted allies.
Right.
Because treachery is kind of built into them.
Right, absolutely.
Which led to the great bit with Chris and I playing against two other people. Well, I don't remember who. But he was playing as Dark Elves and I was playing my Skaven. And it really came down to Chris going, I think I'm going to throw Purple Sun at that unit that I'm in combat with. Yes! Well, I guess I'll fire my Warp Lightning Cannon at that unit that my Cold War Knight's in combat with. Yes!
Oh dear.
We lost, but it was a lot of fun. It was very much sort of we lost, but we lost basically role-playing our armies.
Meh, I want to blow that unit up with a spell. They're Skaven in combat with it, whatever, I don't care.
Whatever. Their lives are so short anyway. Did they just betray us before we betrayed them? Yes. Shoot everything.
Excellent. All right, before we get too far afield, we've been talking for a while about D&D here, but I want to talk about some other stuff for a bit. I do want to answer Tachi's email question that he sent us. Hang on one second, let me get it up here. All right, this is from one of our regular listeners, Tachi, who asks, any suggestions for running a Legend of the Five Rings game? It's been on the back burner for a while for a group to do a samurai game, and it feels like we're getting to the point to finally do it. All right.
Here's the thing. I don't know a lot about Legends of the Five Rings, and I haven't ever played it. I do know that there is a clan called the Crab, which are all giant beat sticks and don't put up with any of that corp bullshit, which means I'd play one. Or the friggin' Ninja Skaven, which are available, and I will play that. Those are the two things I would play.
All right. So there are a bunch of different ways you can handle running a Five Rings campaign, in my personal opinion. One is focusing on sort of the politics of it and having sort of seeing the either you have I'm assuming that what will likely happen is the party will end up being a mixture of people from a mixture of different clans,
Right.
because that generally happens. Though you could do something interesting in running a campaign focusing on just people from one clan, and you could do that, and that would work fine. And then you could focus entirely. So if you're doing all the party are entirely from one clan, you could focus the campaign at that point on sort of things that clan would be interested in. Like if the party are all Crane, it'd probably be a more politically oriented campaign, and sort of dealing with sort of the inter-clan politics and how you can't you know situations that will lead to duels and all this sort of stuff, and interacting with each other at court and backroom dealing, etc. Same thing with the Scorpions, but from a more shady side of things, shall we say? Um, if you're gonna if they're all from the Lion Clan, it's gonna be a more military focused campaign because that's sort of what the Lion do, but it would still have elements of the sort of courtly stuff because they're honorable and etc. This is sort of the stereotypes of each of the clans.
Yeah.
If it's the Crabs, it'll again be a mostly military oriented campaign, but probably focusing more on dealing with defending the wall or going out and scouting into the Shadowlands and such. I guess you could do an Azumi campaign. I don't know enough about the rats to know how that
All
would be
that
handled.
matters is that they're rats and they can be ninja.
True.
Clan Eshin, baby.
You could focus on some of the minor clans, like the Mantis, and have it be sort of a more trade-oriented campaign, I guess. Or you could just have, as I said, a mix of people from different clans, and depending on what it is, there are a lot of different paths you could take it. Again, focusing on sort of more on exploration and trade, um, or the politics between the three clans, or all the clans do have a vested interest in making sure the wall doesn't fall and that the
Right. Because
Shadowlands
that's where all the
stays
bad monsters are.
right. That's keep the
And
Oni and
there just isn't enough jade to go around.
right. So you've got that. I mean, it depends entirely on how you want to focus it. That said, um, there are some things you do probably want to keep in mind generally. I would recommend to make sure you as if you're the one running the game, make sure you've got a good feel for sort of how things work in something that's based on feudal Japan.
Yeah.
Even so maybe probably would watch a few Kurosawa flicks. Um, watch some samurai movies. They'll give you some aspects of it. I guess you could read Shogun. It's a good book,
Mm.
and will give you some feel for feudal Japan again. Not actual feudal Japan necessarily. Amendment Ori in the chat asks, Legends of Five Rings is a pen and paper RPG. I saw a post for it at a local game store. Thought it was a CCG. It is also a CCG.
Yeah.
It is both.
And briefly a war game called Clan War.
Yes, which I have played all three of them. I played the CCG, I played the role playing game, and I have played the tabletop game. I've enjoyed all three of them, honestly. Although I'm not a big fan of the Five Rings role playing game system. That's because it was written by John Wick.
Did
And
someone kill his dog and he go on a rampage?
different John Wick.
Oh, okay.
John Wick, my least the dude with I've talked about the him before on the show actually.
Mm.
He's the one who had this screed about how to screw over your players type stuff.
Yeah, and he puts traps in all his stuff.
Yep.
Which I'm almost guaranteed to stumble across and think they are awesome, until they're not.
So I mind you, I don't know how. I know they've changed the game in the later editions of Clan Wars, not Clan Wars, Legend of the Five Rings, but first edition had some real Wiccan bullshit in it. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know the L5R system that well, so. But yeah, it depends entirely on how you want to focus it. I think my gut feeling would be to start it off with sort of internal stuff, and eventually have the looming threat of the Shadowlands rears ugly head as a way to focus the party.
Mm.
Or if none of them are a particular clan, like if none of them are Scorpions, then having Scorpion shenanigans happening to focus the party, to keep them together with it, so they don't fall to blows against each other constantly.
Yeah. And I'd kind of like to do a Legend of the Five Rings game just to say I have. Mm-hmm. And be the guy that just doesn't give a fuck about everyone. Here's the thing. I know enough about like the various weirdness involved in samurai courts to be able to fake it convincingly.
Right. which is all you really need, in my opinion.
Right.
But
But being a crab, just going, this stuff is stupid. I'm going to pick up the dead body and take his money because it's clearly what the plan was. Which is a huge faux pas for samurai.
right,
And just because that idea is funny for me.
I mean, and there's a lot of fun you can have playing against type too, like the fairly courtly crab.
Right.
The political crab is actually an interesting idea. Backed up by the fact that he's actually
Yeah.
monstrous and has a gigantic Tetsubo on his back that he can play the tent peg game with you with. Play the tent peg game with you with.
Yes.
I can talk.
Language is hard.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's not nearly as much fun as being that guy and going, yes, I know I'm breaking all the rules. I just don't care. Yes, I know what court requires, but I know what honor and decorum require. I'm too busy getting shit done. It's something I really like about the crab.
Yeah, I can see that.
And also Space Gaven. Well, they're not in space, but
No, they are. Yeah.
they're clannish, or they can be.
Well, yeah.
I don't think that's what they are at all, but that's how I'll play mine.
Oh God, let's see what else. I'm trying to think of anything else I could suggest for that might be helpful. But yeah, I definitely recommend immersing yourself somewhat in some of the samurai fiction that is out there. Um, as I said, almost any movie directed by Akira Kurosawa will give you some stuff that you can mine for
Yeah,
material. Um,
absolutely.
as I said, the book Shogun is a good read. There is a miniseries based on it, which is a lot of fun, although it's somewhat dated at this point, shall we say. Um, let's see what else. I mean, the graphic novel series or comic book series, really, Usagi Yojimbo.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's a really good one. And yes, it involves a bunny. It doesn't matter.
He's awesome.
Lone Wolf and Cub is another good one.
Yes, Lone Wolf and Cub is fantastic.
One of the few mangas I really enjoy reading.
um, there's tons of stuff out there. I'd recommend making sure you're conversant with some of it before you run it or play in it. Honestly, either way, it'll help focus you.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. I don't think we got any other questions this week. I hope that helped, Todachi. Let's see. Let me double check the forums. There wasn't anything when I looked in there earlier, but there we go. I can type.
Typing is hard.
Sorry for the slight delay here, but right. I don't think we got anything new. Oh, we might have actually. I don't think we. Yeah, this I think is actually fairly new.
What is this new thing?
No, this is from last year. Sorry. Never
Oh.
mind. Boo. Uh, drat. I was like, oh, that's something that I didn't look at before. Nope, never mind. No, we haven't got anything new on the forums. Oh well. I thought yeah. Anyways, yeah. L5R is definitely it's an interesting game world. There isn't a lot like it out there. Is one of the things I like about it. Which is kind of it's.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, it helps if you're into if you find the feudal Japan era interesting. I mean, I know people there are plenty of people I know who aren't really into it and therefore aren't really interested in L5R.
It's one of those things that I haven't done, and I think I should do at some point. That's how I feel about L5R.
Fair enough. Let's see. What else should we talk about? Because we got a little bit more time still. Um, Anything else going on gaming wise that you want to chat about before we wrap things up?
Not much. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a Pathfinder game where I'm playing a half-orc barbarian that's totally against type for me.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
yeah, and it's really illustrated just how much I've decided I hate whatchamacallit, more percentage-based systems.
Right.
Like, holy crap, GURPS and Iron Kingdoms completely ruined me for the traditional like D20 rolls.
You like your bell curves now, huh?
I really love my bell curves. Holy shit. On the other hand, like, when I do eventually get the great axe, it's a lot of fun to watch things explode.
Yeah, I'm not as fond of. I mean, I've always been a bigger fan of the bell curve systems. I mean, we've talked
Right.
about this many times, but
Yes.
I stumbled into GURPS during high school, so I've been playing it on and off for a long time. Games like that for a long time. Hell, technically, I discovered Champions I think my senior year of high school. Might have been my
We should
junior
get
year.
back to that at some point.
We should actually, yeah. I've been noodling on ideas for it.
Because if nothing else, Grog was mechanically ridiculously fun to play.
Yeah, I adore Hero System and Champions. I adore it to pieces. So it's what as we've said before, it's one of the more mechanically challenging systems to get a handle on it, all at once. But once you have your brain wrapped around it, it's one of the most satisfying ones to play, in my opinion.
Mm. I will certainly agree with that because there is something very special about picking people up and then throwing them into other people. Not that I don't love that, and I do it all the time in Iron Kingdoms with my friggin' war pig, but
Right. Well, I mean, I think the reason I love, I mean, I mean, I've run Hero for a bunch of different settings, and I keep coming back to running Champions, and it just because I think it gives the most options for doing interesting things in here using it, and the most ways you can
mm,
use the system. Interestingly, I think. Also, I love superheroes, so I mean,
yeah. And there is, yeah, and it's very, very flexible. It's just that it's very daunting.
mhm.
It's a very intimidating system to get into.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, and that's basically what I'm going to say about that. I still wrap my head around it, and I played in 2 campaigns.
Well, you haven't played a ton in either of them, so I mean,
That's true.
I think you've played a total what's like at this point like maybe 6 or 7 sessions total.
More than that. I thought the fantasy one you did went longer than that.
I think it only went. It might be up to 8 sessions now total. Then I don't
Yeah,
think it's double digits even. Because, we only got through 2 sessions of the Champions game before I went back to Iron Kingdoms because we got Nick back.
right.
Um, and I didn't get that far into. I didn't go. The Hero Fantasy game didn't go that long.
Yeah, it was largely because Chris totally realized that his character is a horrible, horrible human being that we're eventually going to have to kill.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Uh,
I remember like after everyone left, Chris turns to me and goes, "I think you guys might have to kill me." I think we are, Chris.
yeah. It was
Chris is a terrible, terrible person in that game.
Yeah, his character in that game was oh my god.
He was a yeah.
It didn't look like it at first either. It just
No, but as the character's personality evolved, it it was sort of going darker than Chris had intended. He wasn't sure how to pull it back.
right. Yeah, that's one of those things that it's one of those tricky things to handle in a game, and
Yeah,
I've never had that problem happen to me, but that's because I think of my
I've had it happen with me. I've had characters go in directions I didn't want them to go in.
right.
So
Yeah. At any rate, I think that's going to do it for this week, though. I mean, I think we've mined what we can talk about tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope everybody had fun. Hope you found the episode interesting or helpful or entertaining in some way, shape, or form. Um, just we didn't have a lot to really focus on this week, unfortunately.
This has
But
been a slow week.
yeah, it's been a slow week for both of us, honestly. Um, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun, or technically listening. Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyways, we'll be back next week with some tomfoolery. Hopefully, we'll be more focused and have more stuff to talk about.
we probably won't.
Well, focus, no. More stuff to talk about, who knows. But thank you for listening. If you've got questions you'd like us to answer there, we try to save time on each episode to answer your questions. If we get enough of them, we could even devote an entire episode to it. But if you got questions, please email them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can post them on our forums, which you can find at mechagm.forumer.com. Or if you're listening to us on YouTube, you just post a comment, post your question in the comments, and we'll try to make it work into the show. If you got feedback for us, ways you can one way ways we can make the show better. Ways we can make the show better, like learning how to talk. Apparently, God, any of those places is a great place to post suggestions, feedback, constructive criticism. You know, the usual stuff. We love getting that stuff. We want to make the show better every time we do it. And if you've got show topic suggestions, oh God, do we need those? Please send them to us.
We do.
They make our lives much easier. We don't have to ramble on talking about
Bullshit.
stuff. So please give us a topic to work on, guys. We try to come up with topics on our own. We often do, but
Past couple of weeks we've been kind of.
oh, we actually had a topic last week.
Oh, right. You're right. We did.
It was a good topic.
It was.
But we do generally prefer having a topic to focus on. It makes the show easier and more useful, I think. So please do. If you've got show topic suggestions, please do email them to us, or post them in the comments or what have you, etc. Please let us know. That. Oh, also, we record the show every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern here on hitbox.tv/mecha-gm. And I tweet out when the show's going to go live. Keep an eye on my Twitter handle to see that. The Twitter handle is @mechagm. And other than that, that's going to do it for this week, I think, because I can't talk anymore. My brain has gone to shit.
Yeah. I'm sort of slowly language here.
I think I've run out of verbiage. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week. Till we see you guys next, be happy, be safe, keep on gaming, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.